In politics, a liberal is someone who generally supports policies that are socially progressive and promote social welfare. Liberalism is a political and social philosophy that promotes individual rights, civil liberties, democracy, and free enterprise. Liberals tend to favor government intervention in the economy and social issues to promote equality and protect individual rights. They also tend to support progressive taxation, social programs, and regulations to protect consumers and the environment. Liberalism is a political and moral philosophy based on the rights of the individual, liberty, consent of the governed, political equality and equality before the law. Liberals espouse various views depending on their understanding of these principles, but they generally support individual rights, including civil rights and human rights, liberal democracy, secularism, rule of law, economic and political freedom, freedom of speech, freedom of the press, freedom of assembly, and freedom of religion. Some common liberal principles include the belief that government is necessary to protect individuals from being harmed by others, but that government itself can pose a threat to liberty. The belief that laws, judges, and police are needed to secure the individual's life and liberty, but their coercive power may also be turned against the individual. The belief that the central problem of politics is to devise a system that gives government the power necessary to protect individual liberty but also prevents those who govern from abusing that power. Here are some quotes from well-known liberals that illustrate these principles. If by a liberal they mean someone who looks ahead and not behind, someone who welcomes new ideas without rigid reactions, someone who cares about the welfare of the people, their health, their housing, their schools, their jobs, their civil rights and their civil liberties, someone who believes we can break through the stalemate and suspicions that grip us in our policies abroad. If that is what they mean by a liberal, then I'm proud to say I'm a liberal. John F. Kennedy. Liberals generally believe that government has a role to play in promoting social welfare and protecting individual rights. They tend to support government intervention in the economy and social issues to promote equality and protect individual rights. However, liberals also recognize that government itself can pose a threat to liberty, and they believe in the importance of checks and balances to prevent the abuse of power. In this sense, liberals do support the idea of limited government, that is, a government that is limited in its power and subject to checks and balances to prevent the abuse of power. However, their view of what constitutes an appropriate limit on government power may differ from that of conservatives, who generally favor a more limited role for government. Liberals generally support the rule of law, which is the principle that all people and institutions are subject to and accountable to laws that are fairly applied and enforced. The rule of law is seen as a cornerstone of a just and fair society, and liberals believe in the importance of protecting individual rights and liberties through the fair and impartial application of the law. Liberals also tend to support the idea of an independent judiciary as a key component of the rule of law. An independent judiciary is seen as essential for ensuring that the law is applied fairly and impartially, without interference from other branches of government or from powerful interests.